Gobble gobble, everybody. This is the Sliders Review. And since it's November, I shall be talking about Thanksgiving episodes. And today I will be talking about Modern Family Season 11, The Last Thanksgiving. It's titled that because Season 11 was the final season of Modern Family. Modern Family used to be an extremely good show, but it stopped being good around the 6th season. And then 7, 8, 9, and 10 was just boring. Like, it was just boring and nothing seemed to make no sense. And so, like, they had their final, cause they finally got the memo on the wall. You know, there's no point in dragging this out. So they had one final season, and the last season was pretty good. Like, you know, it wasn't as good as it was in the beginning, but it was a whole lot better than them other seasons. One cool thing about this is that there's some throwbacks. There's two different throwbacks, actually. So, in this Thanksgiving episode, the kids have decided, well, the kids that are now all grown up, I should say, because they're all adults in college, and well, except for Haley, because she dropped out. But Haley is now married to Dylan, and they have twins. I never liked that storyline. I never wanted her to get back with Dylan, only because Dylan was a strange character. He was an airhead. But all this good stuff kept happening to him job-wise. And he kept having all these amazing good jobs. And it's like, how? You're not that smart. And she had finally moved on from him. And then she started dating other guys. But for some reason, those just never turned out, even though there was better guys. But yeah, so they got married, had twins. She moved in with her family because she had a hard time taking care of them. Another reason why I never liked that storyline is because for 10 years on that show, ever since she was little, Haley has been just a wild child. Drugs, drinking, sex, dropping out of college, getting arrested, never cleaning, you know, she's just a train wreck, you know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden, she's married with kids, and it's like, she's kind of improving a little bit, but not really. And it's just like, how does that happen overnight? You know what I'm saying? But she still has flaws, so that's a good thing they kept. I think they were supposed to spin off a TV show with her, Dylan, and the twins, but that never happened. And so, like, Haley and the rest of her siblings are making dinner. Joe is in this episode, but he's at the Pritchett house. Ironically, Lily is the only person missing from this episode. It's like, dude, where is she at? Nobody even mentions where she's at. However, they do mention her, just not the way you think they do. And so, like, they probably did that because she kept showing up less and less as the series kept coming to an end. And also, they had another guest star on the show, so they had to pay for him and all the other guest stars. So they decided to just, like, bump her and everything. So that's depressing. And so, like, I keep saying the kid, but the adult kids, they keep on cooking, and it's a disaster. None of them can get the meal ready. The turkey's still frozen in the middle. Luke's jello thing is just watery mush. Alex's stuffing is a giant ball. So Haley suggests to Alex to invite her boyfriend, who's a chef. This is that time where Alex started to really change in the show. She was still a nerd, but she wasn't that dorky nerd and a smart mouth nerd that she was in the beginning of the series. Now she dresses hotter, always showing her cleavage. She's wild with sex and everything. It was a strange departure for her character. And so she plays the field like a lot. And this is one of her newer men that she's playing with. And she doesn't like him because he micromanages everything when it comes to cooking. And he constantly insults her and stuff. So, like, he's helping out with them, and when he's helping out, it's weird because like he's showing Luke how to cut. So he's behind Luke and holding his hand, teaching him how to cut properly. And Luke is getting turned on from this and everything. There's even a point where Luke purposely asks him to do it again. Luke was another character who went through a strange transition during the show. Pretty much all the kids went through like a strange transition throughout the show, which kind of killed the show. Similar to The Middle. It's like, you know, I've said this before. People don't believe me, but comedy and sitcom like characters have no business growing. They have no business having depth. There's no point in evolving now because you ruin who they are. You can do that in life. You can do that in like action dramas, but you can't do that in a comedy. It just doesn't work. When characters' personalities changes in comedies, I don't know what it is. It's just weird, and so many shows have suffered because of it. Friends and Joey, when the whole Joey Rachel thing happened and Joey started to become more responsible, it killed his character and it killed the show. The middle, when the kids started to evolving, it killed their characters. Like I said, Modern Family. Even back in the days of like Married with Children, when their characters started to evolve, nobody wanted to see Kelly be responsible and somewhat smart. You know what I'm saying? And then because I remember when she cut her hair, she started becoming, well, actually she was more responsible even with the long hair. But then when she cut her hair, she was more mature and everything. Then towards the end, it just made her the dumb person again. It's just like, it doesn't work, you know? And so it just never works. And they need to keep it from A all the way to Z and never change it in the middle. So, what point did I leave off at? The reason why Haley is cooking is because she wants to give her mom a break. After her mom let her like stay there with the twins and her husband, she feels she owes her, you know? Now, there's an interesting subplot involving both like Phil and Jay and Kim and Mitchell. With Kim and Mitchell, they're like just out and about and they split up to go do more shopping. Mitchell sees his friend and he's talking about, he said him and Cam has split up. His friend thought that meant they getting a divorce, so he tells everybody. So next thing you know, Cam just starts getting all these text messages. And Mitchell gets like really offended by that. He's all like, why nobody like trying to see if I'm not an emotional wreck and everything. And so he gets so upset, he goes to like his friend's party, which, okay, all his friends are gay, right? And they all have stereotypical gay names. I never understood that. Like, they all have these like bizarre sounding names, but then I stopped and thought about it. When I was in college, I knew people who were gay and they did that too. It's like they will literally change their names to like something completely like bizarre sounding. And I never understood that because other people don't do that. Even other gay people don't really do that. And so I never understood like certain types that like do that. Like, I just don't get that, you know? And that's something I always saw trending in show. They have on Wizards of Waverly Place and everything. When there's one guy named Paul, he named himself Waul and everything. And it never made no sense. Anyway, whatchamacallem? So he goes over there and they're all like, they're not buying him being sad and upset because Mitchell has a hard time showing emotion similar to Jay and everything. And so like they tell him, you know, after the last breakup, we just figured Cam was a more emotional erect person. And so Mitchell finds out that Cam many years ago made up a fake breakup and acted all emotional so he can get ready for the real thing. However, in the flashback, Cam still has this. Okay, here's the thing. It doesn't state how long ago this was. When Cam first started the show, he had brown hair. Towards the end, he started having grays in his hair. So in the flashback, he has gray in his hair. So it doesn't explain when exactly this is happening. And he probably just didn't want to have to dye his hair. So he got pissed at Cam talking about, I can't believe you came up with like a fake breakup and all this other stuff. It's just hilarious. Like Cam is just crazy. Oh, I forgot there's another plot going on with Claire and Gloria. So Gloria, she works for Phil now and her maid quit. So she tricks Claire into like cleaning her house for her. Like she keeps bringing up how, oh, I miss going to work and the business and the thrill of a challenge. And so that makes Claire just starts wanting to clean. This is a nice callback because Haley did that to her many seasons ago. And so that was a really cool callback because you can really trick Claire into cleaning. And Claire did everything, the floors, the laundry, the windows. And then so Jay tries it, but she's like, I ain't fooling for that again. And then she falls for it. Now the thing going on with Manny, they could have wrote Manny out of this episode and it wouldn't have mattered. Basically, he has a breakup. He's sad. He doesn't want to talk about it, but he keeps bringing it up. And he was really annoying in this episode. And so, like, finally with Jay and Phil, Jay wants to like fly an airplane. Now he hasn't done that since season one when he ran into Phil's face, one of the most highlights of the first season. So Phil is honored and can't wait to do this with him because Jay offered to do it with him. But Dylan imposes and becomes a third wheel, which really makes Phil jealous. So when Jay's flying around, he asks Dylan to do the hoop thing. And so this really like pisses off Phil. So like he gives Phil the controls, and Phil's like, I would never run like that plane in his face like you did to me and everything. You know, it was a mistake. And he's all like, it wasn't a mistake. I was just jealous that you took my firstborn child away from me. So then Phil starts calling Jay like a monster. And then so you assume Phil is gonna run it into Dylan's face. But no, he accidentally runs it into his own face. So he's pissed with Jay for the rest of the episode because Jay did it on purpose and he assumed it was an accident. After talking to Cam, however, he realizes something. Cam did the same thing. This is when Lily gets brought up. He did the same thing to a friend of Lily's who was dating her. He rammed his face into like funnel cake and everything. And so Cam tells him that Jay actually hit him with a car, like a real car and everything. And so this is just something fathers do when they get upset at, like, you know, somebody taking their kid away. So Phil starts to like, okay, now I get it. But he said, you know, he'll never really do something like that. But then he does. See, the chef dude is being really rude to Alex and everything. And so all of a sudden, as he's run off the mouth about Alex, you see him get whacked in the face with the plane. And who has the controls? Phil. So Phil truly understands why Jay now did that. And he feels that, you know, it's just something I guess fathers do because they get so emotionally upset when somebody takes their daughter away from them, you know, or upsets their daughter. So towards the end, you know, they're playing charades. What is up with that? In Scream Queens, they play charades after Thanksgiving. And other people on the shows play football. Those are like just the two games that people just normally play for like Thanksgiving. So anyway, Dylan is playing pool and Luke is saying something dumb. I don't know what. And then he hits Luke in the gut with the pool stick. He's like, oh no, sorry, man. And then Phil and Jay, they toast and they're all like, he's going to make a great dad. So I was so happy this was a good episode. I was even more happy they did some like throwbacks and stuff, you know, because it's just like, it's the last season. You need some throwbacks to what made the show great to begin with. It just sucks Lily disappeared in this whole thing. Oh, speaking of Joe, the only thing he does is that like when Mitch and Claire keep saying like my dad and this, he gets mad at them and says our dad and everything, because they never think of him as their like little brother and stuff, because that family is so bizarre and weird, because Claire and Manny are technically Mitchell all like brothers and sisters and stuff, but Manny constantly hangs out with Luke and they act like they're cousins or brothers and stuff, and it's just all like all around the place, you know. Well, didn't that just fill you up? Well, alrighty, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.